Richard Pryor in one of his albums. He once he said, Tarzan, if he, were in, I guess, the real Africa, he would just call him old crazy white man. This is the old crazy white man. Anyway, now the reason I'm doing this is because I read and I process an awful lot of information in an average day or in an average lifetime, and assimilate it, and then want it to come back out, and they don't have the patience to sit down and write it all down and go through all that. So the internet was invented for me. And of course, it was the visionary activities of young legislators in the early 1980s, such as Representative Al Gore, I believe, who turned that military-based system into the civilian internet. That's what he means when he said he helped create the internet. He didn't say he invented it. He said he helped create it. Okay, this is one of his lies that happened to be true. Mostly true, anyway. What else? What else was I going to editorialize about? Oh, yeah. One of the things that's been running through my head is this. They talk about difference between knowledge and belief. Well, if two people have, say, radically different notions of the deity, it's sufficient justifications for causing wars, killing each other, or torturing each other to death, and so forth, and so on, and so on. We've seen this happen over and over again. But what if there's a revolution in, say, scientific knowledge within the scientific community? Not where it interacts with, say, religious authorities, because religious authorities are functioning out of belief, and therefore they want to kill the scientifically based individuals who are not ascribing to their theological standpoint, which is based on belief, and beliefs is stronger than knowledge. I remember reading that somewhere. Because people will kill each other for their beliefs, because they ascribe a survival value to a belief. Because beliefs do help us survive, and we have a response that way. We believe that a stove will burn us. We believe that if we fill our garage with carbon monoxide from our car exhaust, we'll die. We believe that if we, tie an anchor to our feet and jump off a bridge, we'll die. So our self-preservation is predicated on beliefs. Okay? So when we ascribe a survival value to a belief, like, my belief in a higher power saved my life, that belief has to be defended. It's a matter of life and death in the defense of that belief. So that's why beliefs are stronger than knowledge. And one thing that illustrated that, as I said, if two groups hold, as I said, this radically different ideas of the deity, so Christian, Jewish, Islamic sense, then it's a matter of life and death. And frequently in history and in the present has been and is still a matter of life and death. However, in science, if there's such a revolution, it's not a matter of belief. Therefore, people don't get angry like that. And example, I was watching a television program, and they were talking about the fact that the 2002 Nobel Prize laureates in physics proved that the standard model of the universe, this is why they got the Nobel Prize, that the standard model of the universe is wrong. Fundamental change. They encountered a paradox in the structure, on the subatomic level, in the structure of the universe. It's wrong. They weren't burned as heretics at the stake. Okay, there aren't violent, there aren't violent one group taking it would be, I guess, the one side in the debate, and then another. It would be the debate would be Um, what would be neutrinos can't have time because can't have time even though they can change. Well, they change, therefore they have to have time. So therefore the model is wrong, and they can't change because they can't have time. So what they did was wrong, I guess would be the way they'd have to have, so the two sides would have to line up. And they're going to fight a holy war to decide who's right. And it won't solve anything. No, people just accepted it. They said this is a paradox. Therefore we don't know enough. Doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean from the theological standpoint, whenever something like this crops up, people in the religious communities, they actually try to, Christians specifically, they, because this is the United States, they try to say, well, here's God. There's a paradox. Here's where God is. God solves the paradox because this must be miraculous. It shows God peeping through. No, it doesn't. It just means we don't know enough yet. It's hard enough to figure this out that this paradox existed. So that doesn't prove anything. The problem is that when you that's the main problem is that belief in theological belief doesn't prove anything in the scientific realm. It doesn't prove anything. That's the really bad thing that you don't know anything, but everything is. As religious people, you don't know anything, but everything is certain. You don't know anything, but everything is certain because it's all predicated on belief, which is stronger than knowledge, and belief is kind of all-knowing if you ascribe to a survival value to it, even though it really isn't, because it's belief, and it really isn't certain. I know. The whole faith thing gets really confusing for me, because I have no problem with a faith being belief in the absolutely unbelievable. I don't have a problem with that. I'm kind of a Zen kind of